All right, we're gonna start getting this thing here ready for paint. Let's take a look at some of the stuff that needs to be done. One of the things is we got to strip all this rust off of here. I'm gonna take out the door handles, the lights. We're gonna do something different around the rubber. The rubber's already been replaced. I'm not taking the windshield out, but I'll make sure there's no paint on that. I've already painted behind that once, so I know that it's not rusted or anything behind there. We got this stuff here along the top of this can be stripped off. Top of this needs to be stripped off. Okay, we got some body work I need to redo here because it sat out in the heat, sun, and everything too long. I don't know what I'm going to do back here, but it's not very straight. This is a work truck at one point, and I didn't care about it being looking perfect, nice, but I'd like to straighten it out a little bit better now, and so maybe we'll do something with that. Let's see if we can see. You can see it's kind of bent there. The roof has a little bit of rust issues, so we'll do some stripping up here. And there might be some filler and stuff that need to come out of there. Like I said, we did a 3-day beaten Bondo on this thing years ago, and it was used as a work truck. So we're gonna try and make it look like not a showpiece, but nice. I'm gonna take these ladder racks off of here. We've got door panels we're gonna get straightened out, put them back on after we get done painting. And then basically there isn't much to strip off of here. Let's leave those on, tape them off, and shoot around them. We gotta take out those door handles, these things here, and then the bumpers come off, and then paint the bumpers off. I got the back bumper back here. It's a tube bumper. I made it a while back. Yeah, it's still back here. Yeah, so I got that. I'm gonna paint. So we'll get that all ready and paint that. And then after it's all done, we'll put that back on. I don't know if I'll paint back here. Maybe I will. I'll just sand this down real quick and paint it. Just keep it from getting rustier. Just give it a real quick sanding. I'll put some silver base that I've got laying around, some other silver. And then, so it'll just protect it. And then, because it'll cover all the scratches better. And I'll maybe put one coat of clear or something back there just to keep it looking good. All right. So that's where we're going. May do the bed separate. If I'm going to do the inside of the bed, I don't want to do it at the same time I do the outside, because if I do the inside of the bed separate, and I'll just cover it, if I do that, it'll keep it from me from getting dirt flying out of there. So I'll just shoot that inside, and then let that, coat it clear on it, and let it dry, and come back to it later, and just cover it all up and paint the outside. Probably do it like that or something. I used to just do them all at once, but I'm not sure. I might just do it that way because I don't like to crawl up in there. I used to just jump inside the bed and paint it, and then just go all the outside and just start painting. And that's how I did them years ago. But my knees are old, all that stuff, so can't do the same things I used to do. So anyway, we'll take the bumpers off, start with that, and then take these side markers off and all that, and we'll get busy. Alright, so we did a little stripping up there, still doing some more. Got a little stuff going on here. This bodywork sat out in the sun, and eventually it just, you do that for too long, it can just crack from the heat. So all this got stripped. I'll just sand this little groove by hand and then prime the top of that, prime all the little spots, and then probably switch up to a finer sandpaper. All this, when you have a restoration job like this where it's just easier to use a heavier grit. The guys they use 600 on the new cars, but you know, you're sanding good paint already, so this is all shot stuff, so we got to get it all off of there, all stripped off of there, down to bare metal. We'll put in a really good DTM primer on here, so that should be okay. Get that going. Oh, another thing I'll show you that I fixed here off camera. I put a new glow plug relay in, and give it another second. Fires right up now. So yeah, the glow plug relay is working, all that. Makes it a lot easier to move when it starts up right away. So we got some more issues still to fix on the engine, but keep removing. I think when I did this last time, I was just in a hurry, and the whole roof was like black rust, which, you know, it's kind of dormant, but I want to get it all off of there because the paint doesn't adhere to it, and filler sure doesn't very well. It lasted a long time that way, but I'm just going to remove everything because you can see some dots everywhere. So I'm just going to get it all off of there. Remove all the paint, basically, and all the black rust with the stripping wheel. It comes off pretty good, about like that. So it was like pretty heavy, and I remember doing it. I just went, screw it, I don't care. It was just a work truck, so I didn't really care. So fixing all that stuff here, getting it back to be something pretty nice for somebody, and get it back on the road. Gotta get this bumper off still. Haven't done that, but we'll get on that here shortly. All right, so on this car, it's not worth it to really remove the headliner, I mean the windshield. So it's just, so what you do is you jack the rubber up. Let's look at it. You can see you put the weed eater string, just use regular weed eater string. And you can use any kind of string really, but it's just easier because it's plastic and it kind of stays in place. And you just shove it under the rubber. And what that does, you gotta kind of get it in the right place. It's a little tricky. If you shove it too far, it won't jack it up like that. And if you shove it in there too far. So you'd have to just kind of get it underneath. It takes two hands to do. But you just put it underneath here and then jack it up, and then you tape that and wrap your tape all the way around it. And then a little bit of paint goes behind the rubber too. This has already been painted behind the rubber once when I put the windshield in a long time ago, and when it was restored initially, or not restored, it was just turned into a driver. The rubber on it was really rotten, typical on these old Rabbits. The rubbers always, they were an issue. They would leak water under the windshield. It would go down along the dash and make the grounding clusters rotten and get into the fuse block, and the wiring would go bad on these trucks. That's what was a common thing that happened with them. So all the wires have been replaced on this thing, so that's all fixed. All you gotta do is make, and this rubber's obviously still in great shape. German rubber, real German rubber, I think. Yeah, the last of it maybe. And I'm just gonna get that behind there, and then we're good to go. Ready to mask this off, start priming some stuff. The roof had a big dip right here. It was really soft, so I did, if you see here, that's a heat shrink. I just used a propane torch, got it hot, gave it just a little bit of hammer. Of course, I didn't film it all because, again, it's kind of tricky to do, get the camera angle right and everything, and just heated it up enough and then knocked it down, give it just a little bit of hammer, and it stiffened that and pulled up at the same time with the slide hammer. So it was like I was using one of these pins, and I pulled up on it while it was pulling up, hit it with some heat while I'm pulling out on it, and then it continues to go bulge out like this. It'll start to bulge out and it'll stay there, and then just kind of tap it with a hammer a little bit, and that'll shrink that area. And so even though it's drumming down, it'll push it back. You'll be pulling out on it so that it'll actually push it more level when you're done. So I just heat it up here, 2 heat shrinks, and I got this to be pretty, I mean, that's pretty good. So it's almost metal finish. I think it actually might be okay. I can probably just put primer on here, guide coat it, and maybe some glazing, maybe none. I don't know, maybe just primer will take care of it. That's how much metal finish I did on this roof. Because they're just, these things that, the more time you spend on one of these roofs, when it's flat metal like this, try and sand Bondo on there, it's a mess. So if you can get it to be metal finished on a roof, flat roof like this, you just have to be really gentle. Like when you use this thing here, you know, this is a new one. My old one used to not stick even after like 5 or 10 seconds. So I got a new one from Harbor Freight a while back, and it's like 1 second, and if I go 2, it'll pop a hole like it did right here. So just barely, just go, and that's it. And then I can reuse a lot of times I want them to come back off. If I can get them to come back off without breaking them off. See, this one's broken off. Had to break it off. But if I can get them to come back off again, I can use it again with this. My old one wouldn't reuse anything. This one will, so it's a little hotter than the other one was. So I don't know if they've improved it or what, but it definitely works great. I really want to get instead of a stud welder, a spot welder. They have one I have one, and I got one from Beaver. It wasn't very good, so I didn't want to review it. They're going to send me another one. All I have to do is request it, and they'll send it to me. I already told them about the issue I had with the one, but it wasn't recent. It was quite a while back. I paid for it and everything, and as they said, oh, just pick another one and review it. You know, so that's really been really good help as far as getting tools. But yeah, so yeah, this is just about metal finish. The roof, it had some pretty good sized dents in it too. So it was nasty. So hopefully won't have to use much filler, because like I said, you try and sand when that thing's vibrating like that, you can't push on it. You just have to let the sander work. Oh my God, it'll take you hours to sand a smooth spot just to do one dent. So try and metal finish it as much as you can. This makes your life a lot easier. One of the things I do to keep paint from going into the jams versus masking them all off, I just shove cardboard in them. Been doing that for 40 some odd years. And I'm just gonna use this for guide coat. Wherever I got it run, if I remember where they were, I'll hit those. This area maybe I'll do that. The whole roof, I need to guide coat that. Notice I masked the window off. I just didn't do it when I was just kind of angling away from it. Bad boys, what you gonna do? Heard some dirt bikers over there. Looks like he's gonna go get them. Anyway, it's daily occurrence. No place to ride a dirt bike in California or in Riverside County. It's illegal. It's crazy. We've been bugging them about that for years, and they won't give up any land for dirt bikes. Nope. So we got body work back here. Wherever I got body work, I'm gonna guide coat it. Yeah, we'll see how that turns out. It'll be right when I'm done. It's got to go a couple blocks on that, you know. And then this, maybe I'll just do this one. And anywhere I see it runs, heavy sanding, couple of dings in the roof, but it's pretty straight. Almost metal finished the whole thing. I don't think there's less than a 1/16 of an inch of Bondo on it. Couple spots. All right, today guys, off camera I went ahead and sanded this, blocked it once and reprimed it. I think I'm going to call that okay. Looking good. Did the tops of these, found a couple of little dings, of course. I always do on the bed tops. There was about 5 little dings in the hood, in the roof. Other than that, she's pretty straight. It may have a little wave in it, but that'll have to be just fine. Gotta maybe do something to the door on the other side. But yeah, this is going to take a little bit of time here. You know, it's going to take me a few more days. Probably got a few more days to do on this thing. Got the headlights, I got the mask off. I'm going to have to, underneath here is pretty bad. And that's not fun to work on. So I'm going to have to jack that up as high as I can and lay on my back down there. I should have done it on the car lift, right? And straighten that out. So I don't know what I'm going to do there. And then there's a little wavy spot here in the door. It's a dip. You can't get behind. There's a support right through here. Just going to re-push it, but I don't know if I want to strip it off and redo it. Maybe I'll just put a skim coat of some glazing on there. The roof I did with polyester glazing, and looks like I said, it was really micro thin layer, maybe not even a 1/16 of an inch, so it's nothing hardly. Just a couple more coats of primer than what I put on it would have probably done it. So anyway, it wasn't that bad. This looks good. I'm going to strip all this out of here. I think I'm just going to paint the bed. Got the bumpers ready. I'm just going to give these a scuff down and paint them the way they are. That's the rear bumper is actually square tubing, super thick square tubing, and then steel plate along the bottom and the middle. Originally, I planned on pulling a little trailer with this thing to do painting, but plans kind of changed on that. Just doesn't, it's not really the vehicle for that at this point. It definitely is a classic to keep, you know, for somebody. It's really a neat truck. I mean, it's going to be really bitching. When I'm done, clears on this thing, it's going to be like, wow. I don't see anything else for sale that's decent like this. I mean, not with a 1.9, not with working AC. You know, those are big pluses to me. And I think somebody will be super happy that somebody has AC that works in one of these. They probably looked at several of them and none of them have AC, which is typical with these. So anyway, I don't know. I think we're going to call it on this, and then I'll just bring you guys back in. When I get the whole thing all painted, I'll probably put up a video like a start to finish or something like that. I don't know, something like that. I don't know what I'll do. But so stay tuned for that as well. It's going to be condensed. This is more teaching you guys a little bit about this stuff. So if you're doing your own, you can learn a little bit here and there. And then, you know, just watching the build go on. And then I'm going to try and do like total build, full start to finish. And those seem to, you know, help out with making money so I can pay for the next project. So I got to pay for all this stuff. All right. So I'll talk to you next one. Please like, share, and subscribe.